All right. There he is.
Hey guys.
What's
Hey,
up, fellas?
long time no see.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Very well, thanks. I feel like something's missing this year without having been at RMAC, but I've managed to keep myself busy nonetheless. So it's been it hasn't been so bad of a year after all. So
yeah,
doing well. Yeah.
It is weird not getting to see all you guys though. It's been
Yeah.
I don't like it. I miss you guys. So
Yeah, you build friendships over the years, and it's not just a competition to me. It's like going to see family. So it's weird not doing that.
Yeah. No, we feel the same way. We miss our family, all of our good friends that we have all over the place, and certainly missed out on our killing trip this year.
Oh yeah.
So, oh well. Hey, we'll get back to our evil ways one of these days. So,
yeah.
How's things going over there though?
Going good. We've kind of gone back to normal here. Like no more lockdown really, but the thing of without international travel, everything's kind of up in the air. It's really bad for the economy. So personally, everything's going great, but I just wish the world would get back to normal.
Yeah, me too. So, tell us a little bit. I know you've been crazy busy. So,
yeah,
tell us what you've had going on.
Yeah, so this year has been like just out of this world for me. Most people know, obviously, my channel's been carrying on as usual. So I've had that to manage, which is a lot of time spent filming and editing, and I obviously love doing that. So I don't want to take the foot off that pedal, but also being heavily involved with Element Optics and doing a lot of work there, just making sure everything's running smoothly and working on new stuff in the background and refining things, and that also takes up a lot of time. So it's almost like having two full-time jobs. I'm not going to complain about it because it's like best jobs in the world, but it's been very busy. And then also with Patriot starting up, that's our new gun shop here in South Africa. A few people have seen that on my channel. I've been, I won't say less involved than the other guys, but I've been less hands-on just because I live like 800 kilometers away.
Right.
So I don't get to see all the progress and everything, but I've been very involved with certain aspects of it, like the slugs that we've been working on, which you guys have now, which has been a kind of work in progress over the past year and a half, just like getting all that ready and developing stuff. So it's been absolutely crazy this year, just having everything launched. You know how it feels to launch a shop. Like it's a lot of hard work, but I couldn't be happier, to spend time doing what I love and being involved in the industry is couldn't ask for anything more.
That's awesome. And the shop is just absolutely stunning. It's amazing. So awesome. Yeah. So maybe we'll get to some of the questions maybe that some people have had so far. What do we have for questions so far? We got this guy over here just getting it done over here for us.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys just ask them if they have any questions to write them. It's been a lot of just thumbs up and mornings so far.
Cool.
I did see Justin Welch said, "What's up, brother?"
Oh, nice. Oh my word! I need to go shoot squirrels over there at his place sometime. That looks like a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. It is fun. So
68 Whiskey did have a question last night.
Huh?
Okay.
That I would like to know what kind of conditioner Matt uses, please. What little hair I have left, I'd like to look like Matt Dever or Tay in the Airgun podcast.
You do have some good hair.
I don't know if you get the same products there that we get here, so that answer's not really going to help you. But I have to condition regularly. I will say that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Robert Fix would like to see a video on how Matt sets up and installs his scope stickers. Being a holdover, your scope uses the concept of dialing in as new. and I want to learn how to do it properly. I bought a SIG rangefinder and want to make the most accurate dispatching shots that I can. Thanks, Matt, for advancing our sport in the slug world.
Cool. I can run through that quickly. I've actually got scope stickers right here on my scope. You'll see them there. So, I started off with just simple turret tape, and actually before that with a range card with your distances and then corresponding holdover values. The only thing is it kind of takes time to do that. And the way I see it, if you're going to be dialing, which, a lot of people are moving from holdover to dialing now, which is, I think, like really great. 5 years ago, people weren't really doing that. So to see that happening in the airgun world is great. And it's just so quick to be able to range something and then look at your corresponding range on the scope and just dial for that range. It like takes out the whole aspect of doing the math, which is great. I guess the only downside is if your conditions change. Like you guys will know, having mountains and stuff, if you go from if you go up higher altitude, everything changes, and not so much at close range, but let's say like 80 yards plus, it starts to change. So that's the only downside. But so I would say the first thing you need to do is, if you've got an app like Strela Pro, or you've got a Kestrel and a SIG rangefinder that work together, like I've got, I would say decide on what conditions you want to shoot in. Like, let's say you want to shoot in, at wherever you are, and let's say it's summer, you can measure the average temperature and the average barometric pressure and just put that in there. And then from there, you basically just go, obviously you have to measure your scope height and your muzzle velocity and the BC of your projectiles. If you're using, Strelok actually has BCs in the app, which is great. But then what you would do is on your ballistics app, you would go from, what I do is go from the distance that I zero at. So I zero at 25 meters. And then I would go 25 meters. I would input that. I would see how many clicks from there up is, like 20, and I go every 5 meters, so 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And on one revolution on this Nexus I have here, that's 10 mils, I can get out to 200 meters with this gun. So that's like just about 220 yards with one revolution with a scope. That's obviously using high BC slugs, but
So for those watching, for those watching that don't understand, when you say BC, some of the newer people are kind of like, what is he talking about? Because, or what?
BC stands for ballistic coefficient, and it's basically a number that you give to a projectile to quantify how well it resists being slowed down by the air. So how aerodynamic it is, and you get different like drag profiles for BC. So you get like GA, which would be airgun pellets. You get G1, which would be more like bullets, and then you get RA4, which is more like rimfire bullets or heavy airgun slugs. And you drag profile based on what projectile you're shooting, and then the BC, or the ballistic coefficient that you assign to that projectile, is like, it's like the missing piece of the puzzle. If you have your velocity, if you have everything else, and you don't have a ballistic coefficient, then your software doesn't know how quickly that projectile is going to slow down. But once you have your BC, it's like the missing piece of the puzzle, and it's like, okay, I can understand now how quickly this is going to slow down. If your muzzle velocity is 900 and you input a BC and you input a muzzle, then you at 100, your software knows what the velocity is going to be at 100 based on that ballistic coefficient. So that's the simple answer.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for explaining that, because some new people aren't, they hear the lingo, but they're not quite sure what it means. So
I've got a pretty good series on ballistics, Airgun Ballistics 101, and it kind of starts from scratch and works its way up. So if anyone wants to learn a bit more, then Airgun Ballistics 101, and it's kind of starts very simple and work your way up. So that'll help a lot.
Well, you've done a lot in the airgun world for pioneering this stuff for airgun ballistics, and it's taken off like crazy now. So it's been awesome. So
isn't it great that we have to know this stuff if we want to shoot long range because the trajectory is so loopy? Isn't it great going to a range where there's guys shooting firearms and being able to teach them something? Hey, because
it is great.
Those guys can get away with not knowing about it, but rocking up at a 100 or 200 yard range and being able to hit the same point of impact as a guy shooting a bolt action rifle, it kind of blows people's minds, and that's why people are getting into air guns. So
absolutely. No, that's awesome. So, and I mean, for people that are, back to the question of how do you set up the turret stickers, I think if you don't have, that type of equipment, or if you're not really familiar with all of the data input yet, I guess the simplest way as well is you could literally go put out targets every 10 yards, dial up until you're back on zero, mark it with your stickers. That'd be the manual way to do it, but it's a very accurate way. It just takes more time.
It might actually be better because sometimes ballistics calculators can be wrong. So that might actually be, you should do that regardless to confirm what your ballistic calculator says, but that's actually not a bad way to do it. I'm just lazy.
I agree.
So.
I agree. It is the most accurate way is just put it on target and see what it does. So
so you could put a Strelok Pro with Strelok, which is a free app. You can do a trajectory validation, and what that does is you have if you got your scope height and your muzzle velocity, or your scope height and your ballistic coefficient, it's a tool called trajectory validation on Strelok, and you can put two different targets at different distances, and you can input what your drop is, and it will tell you that, and then from there you can calculate stuff after that. So if you've got a smartphone, you can get Strelok, and there's a whole lot you can do with that. It's very helpful. And you've got, just the database of different projectiles and the database of different reticles. It's a great tool to have. Yeah,
for sure. Perfect. All right. What other questions we got over there?
Yeah, I got a good one here from SOP Dirt Rider. FedEx shows my dubber slugger will be here today. Do I need to wear sandals to shoot it accurately? Good question. And congrats on the gun, man.
Yeah.
It will help. I almost guarantee
it will help. Yeah. It definitely helps the harmonics of the whole thing.
Keeps you grounded in the wind. Elements.
That's right.
A lot better, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
So we got our.
I'm glad to hear that the guns are going out. That's great news.
Yeah.
I'm keen to hear feedback.
Starting to roll out now.
For me personally, even just talking about ballistics here, the whole aim of this gun is to be able to reach out far and not have to dial as much. So it's kind of like trying to beat that system. And with us having caliber restrictions in South Africa, it's like I've been forced. I don't want to shoot 18 grain JSBs at 200 plus yards. So it kind of it's forced me to think of, okay, how can I beat the system? How can I do that? So I'm looking forward to hearing feedback from guys on, taking some of those long shots and how it feels to only dial half of what you would with pellets.
Absolutely. Well, and even, with this gun, it's a little bit unique because, when you're going 70 plus foot-pounds with a 22 caliber, it's crazy. So, but for your reasons, you can't have that, those bigger calibers to achieve the higher foot-pounds, but also what you're going to see, what people may not understand as well is like that these 22 slugs and the ballistic coefficient we're pushing, you can run a ballistic shot, say a 45 grain 30 caliber pellet, at at the same velocities, when you start pushing 200 yards, all of a sudden you see this little 22 slug carrying its energy and passing that big 45 grain 30 cal in energy. So that's something that, you know, people start learning about that. They're going to get more into this, like, that's pretty awesome, shooting that little quiet gun and it's carrying more energy out, you know, downrange. So pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, everyone knows how ridiculously accurate those 30 cal pellets are. So it's hard for people to kind of like move away from something that works so well. But even just if you look at the ballistic coefficient, it's like 0.045 or 0.05, somewhere around there for a 30 cal pellet. And just to show you, like, this is a 34 grain Javelin slug. I don't know if that's showing backwards there.
It's showing backwards, but that's okay.
BC, RO4 BC 0.105. So that's over 0.1. And that makes a massive difference. Like, it's hard to explain to people without having experienced it yourself, but to shoot something like that at 950 plus feet per second, and you compare that to shooting, let's say, a 30 cal pellet at the same speed, your drop is almost half, just based on the BC. And obviously, it's going to be difficult to beat the precision of those 30 cal pellets. But if it's windy, that changes the game, you know. Wind or not knowing the distance you're shooting. If you're trying to shoot a ground squirrel and you don't have time to range it, and you guess, okay, cool, that thing's about 100, but you don't know for certain, you've got a much bigger margin for error shooting slugs. If you, if you're just 5 yards off with the pellet, you could miss it. So, things are changing quick, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the wind subject too. When you have a higher BC, you're going to go through the wind significantly better than you are with a lower BC. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
so, much more.
I mean, I reviewed I filmed a video the other day with a Wildcat Mark III compact, and I shot hybrids and I shot JSBs. The JSBs were at 930 and the hybrids were at 800 or 815.
Sure. And
even being like 100 feet per second slower, the hybrids still had less wind drift at 100, which is like mind-blowing.
That's wild.
So,
that's wild.
Yeah. So things are changing. I'm really happy about that. And yes, ammunition's starting to get cheaper now. Like, slugs were very expensive initially, and now as they become more available, prices are going down. So that's a great thing for everyone.
Yeah. Iowa Tony asked Matt, when will you release your video on the Wildcat MK3?
Probably next week. Probably next week, Wednesday. Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to that one.
On a Wildcat Wednesday.
Yeah. Wildcat Wednesday?
Oh, nice. Awesome.
I like it. Yeah, those are the main ones right now.
All right. Well, we'll wait for some more questions to roll in, and we'll kind of flip the camera, and we'll kind of talk about the gun for a second and the setup.
Cool.
Felipe from AccuTac said, "What's up?" By the way, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Felipe. Nice to hear from
you.
Yeah.
So, and we have to look up who's giving some shout outs real quick, but I'm going to flip this camera, and here we go. So,
nice.
There she be.
Awesome.
Again, so this we'll talk about it a little bit. So what we've done with this gun is, first, you know, you kind of picked how you wanted it to look and the cosmetics, and so we did the OD green Cerakote along with the Kuyu Verde camo. So it's just a awesome looking combination. Getting back to, you know, well, this one we've got the Element Titan mounted up, and obviously we've added the new Saber Tactical Arca rail and butt pad, and you know, rocking the good old AccuTac for now. But so some of the specs of it. Go ahead and roll out what you can expect from this thing.
Yeah, so the backstory, just in a nutshell, is that since all these little bits and pieces are started coming out, I've been modifying my impact more and more to try and achieve a little bit more power, so I can shoot heavier slugs. Heavier slugs normally equates to a high ballistic coefficient. So if you can shoot a heavier slug at a decent speed, then it's better than shooting a lighter slug at the same speed. So that's what I was doing, and we all know, you know, you had those Ernest Rowe external plenums that were floating around for a long time, and like
Right.
it opened people's eyes to what was possible. And FX eventually said, okay, cool, let's do this like in a production gun. They added the power plenum. You know, things started changing with the valving. FX sent me a weaker valve return spring to test out, and that made a massive difference to just how long the valve was open for. So in a 700mm barrel, it just gave you so much extra power. And then all these, you know, all these little things that was able to get this gun up to the energy I'm shooting at today. The adjustable probe was a big one.
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that it's adjustable, but just the amount of airflow you get having that pin probe versus the original probe.
Yeah,
it actually makes quite a big difference, especially if you're using like one of those humor transfer ports, those larger ports. It really increases the airflow, and that made a massive difference. I mean, it literally added like, I think like 100 feet per second just having those two things on. So yeah, I thought I can't keep this to myself. Like everyone's seeing me shooting like 30 to 34 grain slugs at like close to 1,000 feet per second, and they asking like, hey, how come you can do that and I can't? So I thought the logical people to work with on something like Utah Airguns, you know, you guys have your own custom shop. You can do pretty much anything. You've got experts working there, and you can make stuff look you can make stuff look cool. Like, you know, I've fallen in love with this the dip and the Cerakoting, and it's like, it's solid. Like I've dragged this thing, I've dropped it, I've dragged it through thorn bushes, everything, and it hasn't scratched up. It's just held perfectly. So
that looks good. Yeah, it's extremely durable with that Cerakoting.
Yeah. So it's not like a homemade spray paint job. It's like it's done properly. And the combination of having something that looks really cool, that like catches people's attention, it looks different when it's on a bench amongst a bunch of other guns, and something that's internally very different and can do more than a standard gun is just really cool. So like I've hardly used any other gun since I've got this one. It's just changed the game for me. So that's why I sometimes, like when I did the Wildcat Mark III review, like I had to learn that gun from scratch because I haven't used my Wildcat in so long, and I loved using the Wildcat Mark III. It was like it was like finding something that you haven't picked up and like falling in love with it all over again. But the reason I hadn't used it is just because this thing is really cool, and I've got mine right here.
There you go. Yeah. I tell you, one of the things that I've been kind of the most happy about the way this gun is performing too is, you know, you're shooting 70 plus foot-pounds in 22. You would think it would sound like a 22 rimfire or something going off. You'd think it'd be really loud. Guys, this thing is like whisper quiet, super quiet.
And even the way it feels to shoot, like it doesn't feel like it's shooting at 75 foot-pounds or 70 foot-pounds. It feels like it's half of that. It's super weird. It's like this combination with the valving and all of it. It's like it was made for it. It just works, you know. It feels right. It's not like you're trying to force the gun. It actually feels like it's coping quite well. Yeah, and it actually surprised me.
Me too. And it's amazing. I mean, to get that kind of power out of a 22, you know, you'd think it sounds, you know, oh, you just change these parts, changes. But to get one that shoots like this, being, you know, where it feels like a, you know, like a 25, 30 foot-pound 22 when you're shooting stuff, but to be able to achieve that took some, I mean, some custom tuning and some custom parts that, I mean, when we're talking like the difference of a couple grams in a, you know, in a hammer weight or just silly stuff like that, you wouldn't think that'd make any difference at all. And
Yeah.
it took a little while to figure this kind of magic combo out, but my goodness, what a machine now.
Yeah, even just rewinding the clock to about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when people were just starting to shoot slugs. I remember trying to push a 26 grain slug at high speeds, and I remember struggling with the impact. Like I was pushing the reg up to like 180 bar to try and achieve that.
Yeah.
And just with the power plenum and the valving and the spacer on the hammer and everything, it's able to do it without pushing hard. It's just it's keeping the valve open for longer and allowing a better flow of air. It's not forcing it. It's allowing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
The new valving and just the efficiency of the way it works is amazing. So
yeah, and we've got a unique situation because it's a bullpup, you can have a 700 millimeter barrel, like without it feeling really long. Like if you had to do the same thing on a Dreamline, it would feel like you're trying to force it. Like, but it doesn't feel overboard. It feels right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Even with the for this we've added the Don EFL koi, and you had your input about that. That's the one you wanted because of how well it worked and being the size and the profile and everything. But I mean, it's not a short moderator necessarily. You know what I mean? And it's still, even with that on, I mean, the thing, it doesn't look like this huge long. It just still looks like a very manageable, and it is a very manageable profile.
Is that a 580 cc bottle in there?
No, so this is just 480 on this one.
Okay.
But you can add the 580 for $75-80. So which I would recommend, because we're with pushing how much power, your shot count is going to be significantly lower. But
and the 580
it just looks cool.
It makes it look shorter. For some reason, the 580 just makes it makes the barrel look shorter.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So, got to get back. Oh, Justin Wells has got to go back to work. That's the bummer. Sorry, bro.
Bye, Will.
Cheers, Justin.
One person asked, what reticle do you prefer in the Titan?
Personally, I like the APR 1D. I work in mills, so obviously APR would be my preference. But I actually don't really use the dots often. Because I dial a lot, I don't really use the holdover dots, but they don't get in the way for me. I've learned to just look right through them. So yeah, I prefer the APR 1D, but I wouldn't say any of them are bad. So it's kind of up to what your personal preference are. If you like MOA, then there's the MOA options, and if you like a clean reticle, then there's a clean option. So we wanted to offer a few different versions so that you could choose and you wouldn't have to settle for something you don't like.
Yeah, they're all pretty great reticles, but I'd say just look through them, see what you like, I guess, honestly.
Yeah, and there's reticle guides and reticle info on the Element website, so you can get like previews of everything and look at all the reticle subtensions and everything as well. It'll help you choose.
Yeah. Let's see.
Someone did ask Hey, Matt. Someone asked if you're going to be making other calibers in the Javelin Slugs.
Yes, I can't say too much about that, but it won't be long. They are looking really, really good. So just something on that. I have the added benefit of having worked in the FX factory on barrels, so I know exactly what diameters work with the FX barrels. So that's all I'll say. But I'll just say that I'm really, really excited. Let's just say that.
Got the insider info, and that sounds like it is coming. So cool.
All right. Look forward to that. What else we got?
Let's see. Someone asked recommendations on a rangefinder.
I've been through everything. I started with no-name brand rangefinders. I moved on to Hawk. I moved on to, and I moved all the way up to like Leica and Sig. And
Yeah.
the Leica and Sigs are really great. All I would say is, if you can afford to buy something better, get something better. Even if you're not going to range very far. I've had so many rangefinders die on me, or just struggle to range something for no particular reason because the surface isn't right or something, and it gets frustrating. So don't just look at what it can range to and say, you know, I don't ever need to go past 100. Why would I buy anything that can range over 400? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Buy it once, and you won't have to buy it ever again if it's a good one. That's all I'll say.
Buy once, cry once, right? That's what they say.
Yeah. Or buy once and never cry.
That's right. That's right. There you go. Yeah. Let's see here. You got, what else you got?
Why do most air gunners prefer the 22 over any other caliber?
I don't know if people do. I
don't think so either.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I think maybe they're just looking at the South African guys and wondering why we shoot 22. It's because we aren't,
that's probably the question.
aren't anything bigger. Yeah. I think I would, if I'm honest, like I would probably, if just in terms of slugs, I would stick to 22 and shoot heavy 22 slugs. And then I would probably shoot 30 cal pellets. 25 is really good. It's like a perfect middle ground, but like the 30 for like pellets at long range is so perfect. Like it's so perfect. I'm always jealous of you guys. Like when I come up to RMAC and I see once again every year, like the 30 is just so perfect, and I'm very jealous that I can't get one. But I'm actually in the process of applying for a license for a 30 cal, so I will be able to shoot one soon, which means that people will start seeing more 30s on my channel. But I think obviously 22 was the most popular choice for a very long time, but the 25 and 30 over the past 10 years have just become, you know, all the wrinkles have been ironed out, and I would say you can't get better than it. Yeah. Well, there's no real difference between them. It's just the only reason the 22 was popular was because it was so widely available, but that's changing now.
Right. Yeah, definitely changing. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, let's see. I love you, Matt. That's nice. Okay, got that covered. Let's see here. Will Element Optics be coming out with their own version of scope rings?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Yes. Yes, I would think it's okay to say that, yes. And it won't be long, and we've put a lot of time and effort into it, like months and months and months. And the scope ring is not complicated, but the fact that we've put months into it tells you that like it's going to be good. So yeah, I can't say when, but and I can't say what the price will be and all of that. But yes, we are working on that.
Okay. All right. I saw one question on will the 30 cal hybrids be out.
I have no idea.
Next month sometime. I'll answer that one. It'll be in November. So how would you compare the slug version to the 35 cal? Would the 35 shoot 22 slugs just as well with the 22 barrel kit? Also, let's see.
Sure. You guys can answer that because I haven't had a chance. Well, I've shot the 35 in the US, but I don't really know what's in it, and I've never used it in a different caliber. But I know a guy in the Netherlands that has converted it to 22 and says it shoots amazing with slugs. So good work, I guess.
Yeah, I have done that myself. Yeah, it'll shoot 22 caliber really well. There's, you know, they are configured a little bit different than the others, but it's not quite the same tuning though that this gun has, of the same parts. So a little bit different story that way, but yeah, it'll shoot good. So
see Rolf's question.
Oh, I didn't see Rolf's question. What was it?
Roll fast. Can we set a date for the South African hunt already? I agree.
Yeah. Where are we setting that day?
Yo,
Have to be
needs
next
to
week.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already planned everything out. Like, we found amazing place for you guys to stay, like on the beach. Like one of the best.
Sounds rough.
People
Yeah.
come from all over the world to go just see those beaches. So yeah, it'll be like a combo holiday / hunting / hanging out and eating meat. Yeah, that'll be what it is.
I don't see how it gets better than that.
Yeah.
Let's see. One comment would be awesome if the Nexus came with caps and some custom blank dope stickers to fit inside. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
The only reason we didn't include caps for the Nexus is that we plan to offer aftermarket caps that are like really, really high end. So that'll be available fairly soon. And then also we have the neoprene cover that comes with the Nexus as well, which kind of achieves the same thing almost. It protects your scope when it's like in the safe or when you're walking around with it. But yeah, caps will be available that you can, like really nice caps that you can plonk on the Nexus very soon. So yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. Tay from the Airgun podcast says, what's your favorite August Burns Red song?
Probably Meridian, I think.
All right. There you go. 6 hour BDX, you suggest, right, Matt?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But look, the BDX, it's only really beneficial to have if you have another BDX device. BDX is like the Bluetooth connectivity. So
Right.
I have a BDX rangefinder and a Kestrel with BDX. So basically what it does is my Kestrel takes conditions into account. And then when I range with the rangefinder, it sends the range to the Kestrel and the Kestrel tells me what to dial straight away. And then it sends that dialing value in mils or MOA back to the rangefinder and it shows up in the rangefinder. So I can dial, wait half a second, and then in the screen in the rangefinder it tells me what to dial. I haven't really used that feature much because of the scope stickers. It's nice. It does help when you're shooting at a steep incline or something because the SIG BDX takes the incline into account and tells you what to dial, which your scope stickers can't do. But BDX is great if you have the Kestrel.
There you go. If you're not familiar with what a Kestrel is, if you're just kind of getting into this, a Kestrel is a device that is going to measure all of your atmospheric conditions. So wind, barometric, humidity, it will kind of, that's going to tell you all of that stuff. So is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hi from Iran. Holy smokes. That's a long ways away.
Yeah.
Hello.
There's actually quite a few airgunners. There's actually quite a few airgunners there. We had our bench rest world champs, and Iran sent a team over, and there were quite a lot of guys, and they shoot very well. So
That's awesome.
Supported everywhere. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys watching from clear across the world. So.
Yeah.
FX USA says hello. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
Justin is so funny, but they love you, man. So
okay. Well.
Yeah, I appreciate
those
that.
are both compliments. So.
Hey, I'm funny, but
you
look.
say something nice about Austin as well.
Yeah,
you can't leave Austin,
right? Who doesn't love this guy? He's the man with the plan over here.
Yeah, the young Jamie in the situation, I guess, right? Over here on the computer.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Someone did ask how FX is doing on meeting the demand here in the U.S. More a question, I guess, for us, especially with the holidays coming. So, I can talk about that one, I guess.
Go ahead.
They're really ramping up production. I'm sure everyone has kind of seen the massive spike in all things trigger this year. A lot of reasons to that, but we've been growing like crazy. The airgun industry is taking off, and FX is meeting that. They're committed to building a lot of guns. So Yeah, we know it's been hard with some of the back orders, but we have really started getting those in, fulfilling them. So we appreciate your patience, and it's worth it. It's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
I will add
Yeah.
as well. Don't feel like the US is the only country that's experiencing that. That's a worldwide thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So even in South Africa, like the lead time on ordering guns is long, and it's also not because FX doesn't care. I've been to the factory over the past 3 years or so, and the factory is literally like quadrupled in size over the past. So they are expanding.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a balance. Like if you expand too fast and you're building complicated guns, things will go wrong. So they're trying. They're trying. So if that brings any comfort, they are continuing to expand. So hopefully they can grow with the demand. But I guess everyone just wants those guns. So, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Well, to explain why it's been such a backlog of guns too. When all of this Corona thing started, these companies they'll ramp, they'll pre-order products and parts or whatever needs to be outsourced 4 to 5 months in advance, right? So when this all hit, everybody kind of put on the brakes, like, hey, we're gonna have a major problem here. So everybody kind of scaled back for a bit, and turns out what happened is just the opposite. The shooting world just went crazy. Like, I mean, 100% growth this year in all firearms and airgun industry. So to play catch up, not only from scaling back, but to have double the demand has been not an easy project. So that if you're kind of feeling like this is BS, everybody's just kind of taking their own sweet time getting guns out, that's not the case. It's been playing catch up all year. So
yeah, I mean, I've experienced the same thing firsthand, just watching how things have progressed with Element Optics, and just like the fact that global shipping costs have gone through the roof, and like when they send stuff by sea, the ship has to stop at every port and like stay an extra day for it to be tested. It's like 2020 hasn't been kind to anyone. So, well, except I think the gun industry's had the best year ever, but in terms of logistics, it's been an absolute nightmare. So trying to like balance that, it's been an abnormal situation. I know like people use coronavirus as an excuse for everything, but the reality is like it does have an effect. So
yeah. Exactly. So let's see. What else we got?
Tell Matt, Brandon from the Element Pro staff said, good show.
Hey, Brandon. Nice to have you here.
Someone asked Matt, when will he be on the Airgun podcast? I think Tay's in here, so.
We need to schedule something, Tay. It'd be great. I'd love to have a chat.
I think everybody'd love to hear that one for sure. So.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll make a plan.
I know I would. So
just to add something I just thought of, just to mention, I do want to make a video sometime in the next few months when I have time on like some tuning advice for these custom impacts. Just because I've found stuff that really works, particularly with the 34 grain Javelin Slugs, just because those slugs were essentially built around this gun. So I can when the time comes, when I've got time to do it, I'll make a few videos. I'll give some advice on like how to set the gun up correctly, how to tune it. It's very similar to how you tune a normal impact with normal pellets, but there's a few extra things I learned about, like even because you've got that weaker valve return spring, the way that you adjust the valve adjuster, it can't be the same. Like it's different.
Not even close, actually.
Not even close. Like
not even close.
You can pretty much like back it all the way in. And
let me do this. So to give you an idea how that's set right now, little different from others. So
yeah, mine is also pretty much, I don't know if I can show you there, but mine is also pretty much on the lower setting. So yeah, it's different. When you change parts, everything changes.
Yeah. Yep. Give us some numbers. Like, what can people expect out of this gun? They're shooting 34s, they're 34 grain slugs, or, what, 31. I mean, you can shoot any slug out of it, but obviously,
Yeah.
This kind of power, you want to shoot heavier slugs. So tell them what they
Yeah.
can expect.
So what I've done is, my gun I've set up at just under 75 foot-pounds. So we advertise 70 because like that's what every gun can do. But every gun is ever so slightly different. So it's possible to go above 70, but yeah, I'd say like 70 is a really good number. That'll get you like 930, 940, 950 feet per second with a 34 grain, which is insane already. Like that's blitzing.
Yeah.
I go a little bit higher, but like I said, 70 is a really good number, and you don't really see a massive difference between 70 and 75 in terms of like point of impact and everything. It's very hard already. But what I've done with my gun is the slug liner or the superior liner, superior heavy liner, happens to shoot JSB monsters very well as well, the 25.4 grain monsters in 22. Yeah. And that pellet is very, very fussy at long range. Like if you have any crosswind, it can spiral completely out of control, and it's very finicky. However, like for 50-meter bench rest or 25-meter bench rest, unlimited class, nothing can beat it. So like I've got a local airgun club here, and it's really unfair. I rock up there with this gun, shooting a 25.4 grain at 1,050 feet per second, and it just goes through the same hole at 25, and I get like close to perfect scores, even in crazy wind. And other guys are like holding off the paper. I'm like, well, you should have specified a maximum energy limit. But hey, so just to say that this gun can shoot. The slug liner and the superior liner happen to like the monsters very well, and that's basically because the monsters have slightly bigger head diameter than a standard pellet. Yeah. So and the slug liner, the rifling doesn't cut in as much as the normal pellet liner. So it's like it wasn't intended that way, but the slug liner, you can shoot pellets with it also very well.
Yeah. So I think it is fair to note, though, on this particular special edition gun, that I think that's probably your option, though, for pellets. I mean, you could shoot a lot. You can shoot pellets, but you're talking breaking the sound barrier and being probably way too much for a regular pellet. That's not what this gun was made for. So
exactly, you're basically limited to like the heavy 4 caliber pellets, like the monsters and the beasts, and I'd say the king heavies if you want to shoot the king heavies fast. But even then, it's like so. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I guess the one thing you could do is you could get a barrel with a very small transfer port or something, but then you're changing your whole setup. It's not really worth it. It's not
two different purposes. So but man, for shooting the high power slugs and stuff, this thing's amazing. So it's just a lot of fun. And I will note, so we've experimented with all different slugs in it, and I mean, even shooting light, but anything from hybrids to we've shot the JSB knockouts, we've shot the NSA stuff. All of it shoots really, really good. I mean, you're just going to be going really fast unless you kind of tone it way down with those other slugs, but it shoots them amazing. So pretty awesome. So it's a great setup. What else? Do we have any more questions?
I think that's we're coming up on an hour, so I think that's probably pretty good.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, to wrap it up, thanks again. We've been talking about this live video for quite a while, and we just didn't want to do it until we actually had some guns rolling out, so it wasn't just causing more demand that we couldn't fill. So now that we're starting to roll out with some guns, people are excited to see what they can do, and we'll obviously be doing some other, some videos, as as will you, so they can see that soon. And well, they can already see some of it on your channel, and some of the stuff we've done with it lately. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's awesome to see people from all over the world tune in. It's quite flattering, and makes me really happy and excited that we have people from all over the world that check this stuff out, and that there's enthusiasts like us everywhere, and it's just a cool thing. So
then the way I see it, like, there's 450 million firearms in the US. And those guys are all potential air gunners. So
absolutely,
it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow. It's going to grow all over the world. Actually, funny story before we end. I got contacted by Applied Ballistics, who, for some of you know, they make do military stuff, and long range. They got their software is in the Kestrel, and they wanted to meet up at SHOT Show, and I was like, this is very weird, out of the blue. And they said to us, they were very confused because they were suddenly seeing Kestrels being sold in countries that are not allowed to own firearms. And I was like, well, how can? And they were like, they're real awesome. And I'm like, yeah, the sport's changing. These aren't your, like those old school springers. These things are serious, and it's cool to see that people have woken up to what these guns can do. And like, we've got people like yourself to thank for that, like just showing how it's a fun sport, and not being, that's one thing I really appreciated about Utah Airguns is you guys showed for what it is, and that's having a ton of fun, and that's what we need. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's something for anyone, really. I mean, there's so much you can do with air guns now. There's such a wide, you can do anything from basement plinking to shooting long range with slugs to hunting large game with the big boys. So it's just an awesome thing. So no, we appreciate you too. You've done a lot for this industry, and man, you're quite the ambassador of the sport. So
thank you.
We can't thank you enough. So hello from India.
Nice.
So, but yeah, if you have any other questions on this special edition Matt Dubber Impact, beautiful, hit us up. Feel free to send us an email or call us, however you choose, and we can answer those questions. And also, again, watch Matt's channels, and obviously you're going to see a lot of action out of that. Matt, tell them where you're at again, just not as if somebody doesn't know, but tell them your channels.
AirArms Hunting South Africa is the name of my channel, and then you can just follow me on Instagram as well. You can probably see my name up here, Matt Dubber, on Instagram, and I post stuff every 2 weeks, post a new video every 2 weeks. And I am in South Africa, so I do a lot of hunting of some animals that you probably don't even know exist.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
If you want to see monkeys being blasted, then my channel's the right place to be.
That is for sure. That is for sure. Hey, if you want to, just go check out his channel. That's what I'll say. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We look forward to seeing everybody soon, and have fun. Matt, you be safe, my friend.
I will.
Thanks for everything, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Happy Friday, and have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Cool. Bye, guys.
Seeing you, man. See ya.
All right. See ya.